This Week in Football is brought to you in part by Rarick Dodge, your local hometown Dodge dealer, owned and operated by the Rarick family for over 60 years. Go see Roger, Joan, or Gary for your next new or used vehicle purchase. Rarick Dodge is a Chrysler 5-star quality service dealer located just minutes north of Route 22 on Route 512 in Bath.
And welcome to This Week in Football. I'm Bob Garris, and the Shadow and the Intrepid worked fine. Coach Tracy got here. I got here. Jeff Moeller, coach, on assignment. Where did we send him to? Notre Dame?
Yeah, Notre Dame of Green Pond. He's looking around for possible opponents. They're on this win streak. Jeff wants to keep him up. I think he's scouting a Canadian team that's in visiting the lower climbs this weekend, and I think he's trying to book an extra game or something.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll get in the way, Bob.
Well, we keep him busy. Okay, we had a great weekend for you last week with our football coverage on Cable 4 Sports. The coach was there with Mr. Laubach, and we're going to the highlights of the Allen and Deeroff game, traditional game, a big crowd, a lot of fun.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's look at those highlights. Here they are.
Goal to go from the 2-yard line for the Huskies. Hand off to the deep back, John Flamish, and Flamish has the 2-yard touchdown run. Andy Hammer is back to receive the kickoff by Robbie, and it's a good deep kickoff that will come down instead to Billy Reimert at the 13-yard line. Reimert has a hole. He's to the outside. Reimert to the 50, to the 40, to the 30. He will go all the way. Reimert, 88-yard touchdown run. 3 for 5 now in the passing department for 30 yards from the 25, 3rd and 13. Lenhart back, looking. He's firing into the corner of the end zone. It's a touchdown, Andy Hammer. This should be a 32-yard field goal, and in fact, it's going to be a 33-yard field goal where they mark it, so they'll go 8 yards back. Normally, it's 7. And the kick is up. The kick is long enough. The kick is good by Rami Robbie. And the Canaries will go for the field goal. It will be a 31-yarder by Corey Beidler. It's down. The kick is long enough. It looks good from here. It is good. Corey Beidler, 31 yards.
Full house eye. That means power left. There it is.
There's the power. Flamish, he may go. John Flamish will go 47 yards for the touchdown. Boy, a touchdown here would be huge.
Oh.
Touchdown and extra point. They're up 9. It would be very tough for Dira. It's Haskins the other way. Tries to cut back. Does cut back. Haskins, touchdown. What a run. Watching. It's a screen over the middle to Frederick. Frederick loses the football. It's loose. Allen has it. Billy Reimert comes up with a loose ball. Allen has the football. Lenhart, or Beckett watching on Dean, and that pass is incomplete. Well, they're going to say it was caught. It doesn't matter. The time has run out. Allen wins this football game 24-15.
Okay, there it is, the final. Of course, good way to end the season for the Allen Canaries.
Extremely entertaining game. It was really done up right. The AD, the people who put it together, really did a great job honoring 100 years of football. Nice little ceremony, nice crowd, Bob. Very interesting night. The unique thing, and one of the novelties is I got there really, really early, and Marty Ondervik, well, Les Kish said to me, he said, hey, Coach, Marty Ondervik wants to see him. So I walked into the officials' quarter, and Marty handed me this little sheet, and on it were the five officials' names and their position, which I said, gee, pretty nice. He says, no, look behind each one he had listed the number of years of service. He said, since we're celebrating 100 years of football, he said, how about the list of years of experience? 175 years between 5 guys. John Enninger was on that crew, Pat Garamone, Marty. They had some guys, 2 guys with 40. I thought that was 175 years out of 5 officials.
Well, of course, Pat Garamone, the Silver Fox.
Well, he had about 85 himself.
He had about 85 himself. Okay, and that started the weekend, and everybody waited here in the Valley and around the world on ESPN, and you name it. And Saturday night, here are the highlights of the big ball game, Becca and Central Catholic.
Tossie the lone setback. Kendra back. He's going to get rushed. It's out to Tossi. He's got blockers in front of him. Tossi, touchdown! 4-yard screen pass. Mike Tossi.
There's your eye.
8th play of the drive. Handoff, Drayton. Can he get in? He is. Touchdown, Rashawn Drayton. As Central Catholic is on the board. Kendra is in the punt again for the second time tonight from the 18-yard. Nice block. Willie Edwards blocks the punt. No, it's not. It's Adam Horst. Adam Horst, touchdown, Central. Kendra's going to roll left. He's going to look back to his right. He's going to fire. He's got a man open. Touchdown, Brady. Approaching 2 minutes. Eisenhart, a little half roll into the end zone. It's caught. Intercepted by Palos. Big play by Palos. First down, number 9. The ball on the 30-yard line.
Too wide left, Gary.
Dick's going to throw to the left, and he's going to throw it long. Downfield, it's caught. Oh, what a catch! Oh, my, Jim Flaherty! Oh, what a catch! Think if I was involved with public relations for these two teams, I'd send this tape all over the United States. You get a lot of college scholarships out of this baby. There's a handoff to Volpe. Volpe, touchdown! 16 yards. Again, it's the first man through. Again, trying to cut to the outside is Volpe. Oh, what a nice run by Volpe. He's down the sideline. He could go all the way. Fran Volpe will go 79 yards. Oh, my. 6'3", 240-pound senior. Handoff right up the gut. Caramelli, touchdown. 8-yard touchdown run for Mike Caramelli. Kendra will have to punt it away. 34 seconds, the clock running. Left to go in the third period. A period that has belonged to Central. They're going to throw out of here. They got a man open. It's caught, and it is not a first down. What a play by Caramelli. Kendra fakes. Kendra back, looking. He's looking. He's got some running room. Kendra to the outside. Kendra stays on his feet. To the 45. To the 50. To the outside. Dan Kendra cuts up inside. He will go all the way. 74 yards. What a run. 76 yards. Jim Morgan's on the far side, just as intense. 2nd and 15. Oh, watch the hit. It's oh, what a pass. It's caught by Davidson. Davidson to the 50. 45. 40. Nate Davidson will go to the 10. Unbelievable. 83 yards.
Okay, highlights.
out of breath.
Of course, stay with us, folks, because after our show, you might see a duplication. What do they call it? Tit for tat. If you can do it, I can do it
Back and
better
forth.
than you.
The funny thing about it, Bob, is that both of the teams did early what they wanted to do, and that was take the initiative. Becca comes down, zoom, right downtown, scores first. And then, Central ties the score and then comes back with a special team punt block that, was their forte, too. It seems that each team excelled a few things in the special play department. We've been raving all year about Becca's big play offense, which you certainly saw. But how about some of the Central big play offense, too? They had 3 over 70 yards.
Yeah, really big.
Yep.
Really big.
Really big.
Really big. Okay, there was other action last week. Let's take a look at the scores. We'll comment on a few of these. Of course, what some of them did, Coach, was set up what's happening this weekend in District 11 play.
What some of them did is solidify their future just a bit.
Right.
Allen, of course, we already discussed. Parkland, now they're in that final Eastern Conference 4A game as a result of that. Phillipsburg, still in the run in Jersey and still in the run for second spot tie with Becca in the East Penn Conference. A lot of people are missing out on that.
And we'll say more about Whitehall at the end
Whitehall's
of our
still
show,
in it, of
right?
course.
They have a game. Liberty, of course.
Liberty back in it. Liberty's going to Stroudsburg tomorrow night, where they will vie with the number 1 seed in the 4A, and of course, an encore with Central.
Dick, let me throw in here for that Liberty game. I have the star of the week as Jeremy Blackwood. 3 touchdowns for Liberty, and of course, with that win, they get into the playoffs and have that ball game.
What you like about Jeremy is he and his replacement, A-Star Long, they share not only the offensive duties, but they also share the defensive duties, too. Blackwood was playing just about every minute earlier in the game, and then Coach Ortwine sort of got a little to this idea of, sharing time and sharing men, and the result he's doing less on offense.
Okay, in the Colonial League, Catasauqua with that win over Northwestern. Of course, we'll say more about them at the end. They are in the playoffs. Palmerton, Northern Lehigh, big shootout up there, and Bobby Clark with a win over Salisbury.
A lot of points scored in that Palmerton-Northern Lehigh clash. Palmerton coming in with a very entertaining game this weekend. Bob playing old foe, Lehigh. That could be interesting because everybody's expecting a high-scoring affair out of that one, too.
Right. Okay, and the other scores around the Colonial League. And there it is, Notre Dame with a shutout over Wilson, and Saucon Valley 28-7 over Palisades.
Someone say 6 in a row after 5 no-no.
It's amazing. Okay, up in the Mountain Valley League, a couple of ball games last week of interest. And Nazareth bouncing back after losing one of their star players, and they hold on to defeat Northampton 21-14. Pleasant Valley, we'll say more about them, Coach. We're going to see them on the tube tomorrow night.
Terry Stout told me, he said it was so unusual. He was that referee in the Nazareth and Northampton game. He said it was so unusual to see a big 8-8 number come out at jet quarterback, where Nazareth converting the wide receiver to a quarterback because of the emergency situation.
You got to do what you got to do.
You bet.
Yeah. Okay, and a couple other scores. The Independents, Easton, feathering the Red Rover hat by beating a pretty tough Harrisburg team.
Took a good run-and-shoot team out of the Harrisburg area, went down to the wire, and Easton scored 2 big touchdowns. In the end, Harrisburg did not come with very much of a running threat, but they certainly were that run-and-shoot. They certainly were a passing threat.
East Stroudsburg and Stroudsburg, their wins, of course, then we always talk about their Turkey Day game upcoming, but they have other games to play, too. So.
And again, it's a big Turkey Day because it could knock Stroudsburg out of a undisputed first place in the Mountain Valley Conference. If they beat them, it's a 3-way tie.
Okay, let's go to the standings here as we look at the numbers for the East Penn Conference. And no doubt about it, Central wins at 8-0-0, and they continue their winning ways.
Well, coming down to the end now, of course, you got your traditional Thanksgiving Day games. You'll match Phillipsburg with Easton. You'll match Whitehall with Emmaus, and that'll finish out the league play. But Peaburg C, as a result of playing Easton, still has a chance to tie Becca for a tie for second spot.
Right. Okay, and over in the Colonial League, these are the numbers for wins and losses as we fade into Catasauqua. Wow, 10-0.
Yeah, you just can't say enough about their amazing turnaround. You're talking what, 1-11 last year to 10-0 this year. First time in the Colonial League history, in the expanded history of it, and they come away not only as a winner, Bob, but as undefeated champion of that league.
Really great.
Bangor making a little noise up there. They said we didn't play Caddy. That's our swing team. They'd love to have a shot at Catasauqua, which could be hindsight.
Yeah, that's what you say. Wait till next year.
Yeah.
Okay, up in the new league, the Mountain Valley League, and their first look at these standings here near the end. A couple of games, of course, as we mentioned, still to be played, but Stroudsburg up on top 4-1-0, and that could change.
Well, Stroudsburg could be your undisputed champion if they beat Eastburg on Thanksgiving. If not, you're looking at a 3-way tie. And it would be Stroudsburg, East Stroudsburg, as always, and newcomer Pleasant Valley hanging around the top. And as you say, we'll see Pleasant Valley later in the show.
Right. Okay, so let's switch to our top 10. As always, we check in with last week's notices as compared to this week. And for me, Dick, it was very easy this week to put the number 1 team on top.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jeff Moeller didn't do as good a job as you did. I mean, this is Jeff's top 10 here now, Bob. And his, I don't think, is as exact as yours.
Okay, and it's brought your way each week by, of course, the Nazareth National Bank. And there it is, Central up top here for this week, followed by Becca. But again, as we get to the end of our show, we'll say more about these two teams.
Look at what Jeff did. He just copied your first 7, Bob.
Well,
I thought you had copyright rights.
Well, they can do what they want to do, and I'm not fighting with anyone.
Whitehall, Palmerton, and Lehigh. All right. You might not accept the order, but certainly all right as a top 10 team representatives.
Right. Okay, so that's it. And again, we're near the end of the season. You want to write letters and let us know if you did or did not enjoy our picks. We don't mind hearing from you. Okay, we're going to take time out for this word from the Main Street Depot. They've been with us forever. They have that fine restaurant over there in Bethlehem. Stop in and say hi to the Middle family. And we'll be back with more of This Week in Football.
Tired of dining at the same place and staring at the same menu? Then travel on down the tracks to the Main Street Depot, Main and Lehigh Streets in Bethlehem. At the depot, you'll dine in an authentic Victorian railroad station on all your favorite meat and seafood specialties. Also, on selected evenings, there's entertainment in the piano lounge. The finest in wines and mixed drinks complement the meals at the depot. So for good food, fun, and entertainment, there's no place like the Main Street Depot. Call 868-7123 for reservations. MasterCard and Visa are gladly accepted.
This weekend's senior PGA event on ESPN is brought to you by Nazareth National Bank, a locally owned and operated independent bank.
Real life isn't like the movies. Our kids need the right information to make healthy and responsible choices. Parents can help by talking with kids about values, sex, and relationships. We don't have to be experts. Planned Parenthood has family programs that can make it easier. Talk with your kids. Help them. Help them make healthy choices.
And welcome back to This Week in Football. Coach, just an update on the pro scene. Of course, most of the viewers know that I kind of keep an eye on Andre Reed. I don't know what the status will be for this ball game this week for Andre, but before he got knocked out of last week's game against the Jets, had 2 catches for 22 yards, puts him at 5th in the overall yardage race in the AFC, but first on the average per grab 15.2. That's not bad.
That's
for
not bad. Yeah.
Wide receiver.
Yeah, especially Well, it's not up to the 20s where the great ones should be average wide, but he's getting a lot of those square outs and he's getting a lot of those across the middle. One of the few wide receivers that doesn't mind going across the middle.
You know, we talked about injuries here in our high school coverage, and of course in the pro game, seems like every time you turn this tube off, 3 or 4 more guys go down. As with the Bills, Reed may be out, but Beebe, he got walloped near the end of that ball game.
The thing that has to be aggravating, Bob, is that the hits are vicious, not only because you're playing for bucks and big time, but almost like with every hit you got to deliver a message. Don't come in my territory. Yeah. Stay out of my territory. You know, it's almost like you're a landlord.
It's a
and
real
you're saying
war.
that people just don't get around here because it's just become too vicious. I mean, the ball's over here and there's a crack going on over here somewhere. You know, and I don't know if that should be.
Coach, before we go to our busy Cable 4 schedule upcoming, of course, as we already are looking ahead to basketball, I would be remiss if I didn't say something about the Penn State struggle. They got by Indiana, and now, of course, this week the Fighting Irish are going to be playing, and I guess you're going to be happy working, maybe. Florida State?
I'll be on the road. I'm on the road to, what, Pleasant Valley or something like that, and you already gave me directions. I'm worried I can't find it and everything else, and that may be the best thing that happened to me, Bob.
Well, you know,
I've watched the odds. The odds have gone from 11 to 11.5 to 12 to 14. Yoy, they're going astronomical.
Tough
the Irish
Saturday.
in trouble.
Yeah.
Now they lost Miller. They lost Mike Miller. And, oh, my.
Well, we talked about injuries. All right, let's go to our busy schedule on Cable 4, and here we go. And right on down the line, we'll have for you the playoffs and then the football finals and inter-district, several of those games. If our locals continue on, we'll follow them as far as they go.
That first
and
one
then
should be
December 6th, does that say,
Yep.
does that really say basketball?
Yep, Whitehall at Central. But the first one on the list, Bob, I think should be November 14th, should it not?
I would say it should be,
Kutztown
yes,
against you,
it should be, yeah. Talking about the basketball, I believe there was a little blurb in the paper about Whitehall. They're in a tournament play and changed opponents.
Yeah, there were opponents.
And they'll be busy early.
Oh, yeah. Well, Coach Hassler usually plays it smart that way. He plays some pretty tough ones early to get a good line on his team.
Right. Okay, let's look at the District 11 matchups for this week, and we'll comment on a couple of these as we go. This is the lineup.
Well, there's nothing
we'll
left to say
We'll
about
save the first
one.
one. We're going to say a little more about it.
Mount Carmel,
the first two.
Catasauqua.
How about the, let's go down to the fourth one, Dick. Liberty and Stroudsburg. How do you see that one
Two
going?
old friends meet, Dick Ordwine and Freddie Ross. A lot of people saying, gee whiz, is Stroudsburg really in Liberty's class? Yes, they are. Let me tell you, yes, they are. They can play. Stroudsburg, one thing I always liked about Freddie Ross, you call Freddie up and say, Freddie, I need a game. If he can, he'll come and fill. Freddie will play anybody, anytime, anywhere, and he doesn't care about your reputation or anything else. The Liberty people will see a almost one-sided running attack, led by the tailback, led by Tucker. I think Freddie said I've had 7 tailbacks now who have played Division I college football, and Tucker may be one of the best of them. So it might not only be a long trip, it might be a long night for Liberty too.
Right. Okay, other games of interest that we'll talk about here. Of course, East Bend Conference ball game, Northampton down at Easton. That could be rock'em sock'em.
For a supposedly weeknight schedule-wise in the area because of the playoffs popping up and that, this is a pretty good schedule, and there's a reason for it. So many of these teams that thought they would have been involved in playoffs or had a tentative game with a district contender or a district team now have an open date, and so they book them. Look at that Northampton Easton. They booked at the last minute. Palmerton Lehighton. Lehighton wasn't in a playoff. They booked. Council Rock Peaburg. Peaburg's supposed to play Northampton. Council Rock says, no, we'll come and play you. We're not involved in any playoff. So a lot of Abington Heights at Parkland, by the way, that's the Eastern Conference 4A final.
Right.
Nazareth, same thing, picking up Bangor. That could be a good game.
And then Eastburg and Freedom has another ball game.
Bill Ryder. Feels like starting all over.
Okay, that takes care of that. Okay, we are going to take a look at what we have for you Saturday at 6. This ball game, of course, is an afternoon game, and it features Mount Carmel's Red Tornadoes, 9-1-0 going against the Ruffies. They're 10-0, and let's talk about it, Coach.
Ruffies get it done somehow. One of the shortest distance between a winning and a points scored and points given up average. But they always do enough to get by. You know, they're just winning, barely winning, but winning at the same time and to gather an undefeated and Colonial League championship. The Red Tornadoes, Bob, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people in the way they can hit. They can hit pretty hard. This is a 3A team, down from 3A last year, that gave Central Catholic a district game, and now at the 2A level. And a lot of people returning. They were pretty young last year. Well coached, good quarterback by the name of Higgins. Pretty good representable team. The only game they lost was to Montoursville, 13-12. And Montoursville is always a pretty nice powerhouse.
Coach, I go back a couple of years with the Linton family and all those rough, tough runners down there at Caddy. Who do we look for the Rough Riders this year? Who are the standouts?
You got Durachinsky at quarterback, a senior. You got Corey Bile at the tailback, a junior. And you got another Yannick, Jimmy Yannick, a senior fullback linebacker. In fact, their strength, Bob, would probably be their short passing game and their running backfield.
Okay, so that takes care of a look at the Catasauqua ball game. We also have another game for you, and this one will be on at 10 Saturday night. And the Whitehall Zephyrs, they're going up into the mountains to play Pleasant Valley. They are the Bears, Coach. I gave you the route number. It's up on 209, where 115 heads north. You can't miss it. What about this ball game?
We finally had the opportunity to see in person a young man we've been raving about all year about, that John Blick, the 300, now they tell me he's up to 320 now, it's 6'7", 320-pound tackle who goes both ways for Pleasant Valley. We'll be seeing him. This is going to be Whitehall speed, quickness, against a pretty well-balanced offensive team. Pleasant Valley does not score much on offense. However, they have a 7-3 record, so it tells me their defense must be doing the job. A lot of people rated a toss-up going in. Can Whitehall come back from an extremely tough 4-game schedule? You know, Parkland a loss, Central a loss, Liberty a comeback win. I think they were down 25-7, right, and then bumping into a Peaburg team last week. Hope they lick their wounds and are able to come back.
So Tony Coca has his job cut out for him?
He loves it.
You going to come up with any wrinkles?
Going to see Tony. Going to see him after the program, shortly before I head off to Central Catholic, and we're going to talk a little bit.
Okay, that's a look at those ball games for Saturday, and now following our show. And again, we'll go to this one. And a lot has been written, a lot has been talked about, a lot has been filmed and used on television. The Golden Hawks of Becahi with Bobby Stem. Jimmy Morgan's, what a great year again for Central Catholic Vikings and Jimmy's team. And you want to talk about personnel, let's talk about Becahi first, and then we'll get to Central, Dick.
Oh, boy. I told Gary, I said, the best way to do this game, we should do it like Channel 3. NBC did it years ago. But remember when they just turned the volume down to no announcers?
Right.
That would probably be the most
And let 'em go.
effective.
Right.
You know, I'm talking myself out of a job here, but that would probably be the most effective thing for the entire night.
Right.
Don't say a word. Just let the kids perform. Becca performers, well, we all know about the stars. Some that really impressed me this year and certainly last week, Jimmy Flaherty. What a yeoman's job he did offensively and defensively. Mike Tachi, blue collar. I don't know if he gets enough credit. Jimmy Parham, number 75, offensive and defensive tackle. Brendan Chazar, center, goes both ways. And the ends, I cannot say enough about the defensive end. Tachi and Ramos do a tremendous job. Jason Ramos and Billy Vanny, I believe, are one away from sack leaders. There are some of the glittering stars without mentioning, the real highlights who everybody else will mention.
Well, I'll mention the highlight one, of course, Danny Kendra, a great ball game, tremendous run near
But you
the
said
end
we
of the
only had
ball
4
game
minutes.
to keep it going.
I couldn't even begin.
The turnover factor, how will Bobby Stem turn that around, Dick?
Well, okay. You talked about some easy touchdown. Central came up with an easy touchdown in the blocked punt. Nate Davidson fell down on defense. Next thing you know, Brady has an easy score on what could have easily been an interception. Those you don't put in your game plan, Bob, but they're there. The team that takes advantage, lo and behold, another block punt, it could mean the game. Lo and behold, another slip, and it could mean the game. Those aren't written in any game plan, but boy, those are always on the horizon. Justin Pfister's another Golden Hawk I want to talk about who does some real
Great job.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about Central for just a second. Of course, what else can be said about the Vikings?
A real stable of backs, 3 backs with over 545 yards. I have never seen 2 fullbacks complement each other the way that Ceramili and Volpe complement each other. They take that little dive, they run it slanted off tackle, Bob, and it seems like no one ever gets in their way. It was great to hear every last one of the Central backs talk about the job of the offensive line in front of them. In fact, I think I even commented on TV, I gave you a plug. I said even Bob Garris could run those holes. Bob, that line is astounding, and it's astounding both ways. I mean, they sacked 10 to 12, hurried them countless times, and you're talking about kids who are playing both ways. Full 48 minutes, they're not getting many breaks. So when you talk about Horst, Tremonti, and Worley, and Morgans, and I hope I don't miss any, Ganol, and Ring, and Majerski, you're really talking about the nuts and bolts of that team. And the nice thing about it is that the backs know it.
There it is. You heard it from the coach. And as always, we're brought your way each week by Rarick Dodge. And Rarick Dodge is in Bath, the Valley's Truck Center. Lease purchase deals on all 2-wheel drive Dakotas and Rams. Hurry in while we have the supply. It is there for you. Remember, the special deals won't last long. Also, a chance to win tickets to the upcoming game between Penn State and Michigan State. Transportation and refreshments included. No purchase necessary. Save big on 2-wheel Dakotas and Rams. Rarick is down in Bath, so for the clean deal, come on down to Bath. Coach, enjoy yourself. Have a good weekend.
Hopefully.
See you next time on Cable 4 Sports.
District 11 football is next. The AAA championship game between Bethlehem Catholic and Central Catholic from J. Bernie Crum Stadium. Right here on Twin County Cable 4 Sports.